After a month of testimony, hundreds of exhibits of evidence, and dozens of witnesses in the Michelle Troconis trial, it's now time for the jury to deliberate.
And this all after each side wrapped up its case with closing arguments this afternoon.
Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc has been in the courtroom from the very beginning, covering the course of this trial.
And she's joining us live outside Stamford Superior Court. Julia, a big day at the courthouse. Good evening.
It sure was, and that showed in numbers. This courthouse here was packed to the brim today, with nearly every investigator involved in this case showing up for closing arguments. We also saw close friends and family of Jennifer Farber-Dulos, including her 5 children, plus the close friends and family of Michelle Troconis, all as we now all wait patiently for the jury to make its decision.
Jennifer is dead, and Fotis and Michelle Troconis intended that to happen.
Assistant State's Attorney Michelle Manning getting one last chance to speak directly to jurors, passing the baton to the 6 people now left to decide the fate of Michelle Troconis, the once girlfriend of Fotis Dulos.
Fotis Dulos needed help to commit that murder. He needed an alibi. He needed the defendant.
Prosecutors allege Fotis killed his wife, Jennifer Farber-Dulos, at her home in New Canaan on May 24, 2019. They say Troconis went with him to Hartford to dump the evidence and later helped clean the Toyota Tacoma, which they say was used while committing the crime. The state pointed to the hours of interviews with Troconis when her account of what she says they did that day changed several times. Times they say she was lying.
If that's really the case, she has memory lapses, she has false implanted memories, she doesn't speak the language. If that's really what's going on, why is she so good on details that don't matter? And so bad on details that incriminate her?
Prosecutors pointed to the evidence laid out over the last month, evidence they say couldn't be a coincidence.
Is it just a coincidence that the defendant's DNA was found on the opening of a garbage bag that also contained bloodstains, tape, and Jennifer Dulos' DNA? Are all these things just coincidences, or is the defendant guilty?
But defense attorney John Schoenhorn argues that evidence is all circumstantial and pure speculation.
There is nothing to suggest that Michelle had any clue about what was going to happen in New Canaan on May 24th, 2019. More importantly, there's nothing to suggest that Michelle would even think that Fotis was capable of doing anything like that. Again, Michelle simply did not know.
And when it comes to motive, Schoenhorn says there isn't one. With things starting to turn in Fotis' favor in the custody case the month Jennifer went missing, he says his client was looking at the light at the end of the tunnel and even considering moving to Colorado to get away from it all.
Why at that moment would Michelle agree to risk her life, risk her daughter's entire family life, to at that point say, I think we now want to get rid of Jennifer Dulos? It doesn't make sense. It's pure speculation.
Schoenhorn also offering different possibilities with other people being involved other than his client.
This trial is a tragedy, no question about it. It is a tragedy for many people, including people that are sitting here in this audience, in this courtroom right now. But this case here is not about sympathy, and it's not about antipathy and revenge. There is only speculation and no facts. We are all sitting here in hindsight, deciding what happened after the fact, what one should have known versus did know.
Now, after those closing arguments, the judge spent about an hour instructing the jury before they went behind closed doors for their deliberations. Now, there's no telling how long it'll take for the 6 members of the jury to come to a unanimous decision, but I will tell you this, both the defense and the prosecution asking the jury during their closing arguments to please take a second look at all of that evidence. We're live here in Stamford tonight. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Julia. Connecticut's news station has been following the Michelle Troconis trial from the very beginning. For all the details, including evidence and testimony, download our free Fox 61 News app.